Hello, my name is Robbie. Can you tell me your full name, please?
My name is Asya Sidoshina.
And can you tell me where you're from?
I am from Moscow in Russia.
Okay. And can I see your identification, please?
Please.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, in this first part, I'd like to know a little bit about yourself. So to begin with, tell me a little about your garden, or a garden you know well.
Well, I live in an apartment, so I don't have a garden. However, I have a favorite park. It's my favorite park because my first school was located at the edge of the park and had a back door which would lead into the center of the park, which I loved very much. So in break, recess or field trips we would go to the park, and we would always have like games and stuff like that, and these memories, I really like them. So
Okay. And so if you had a garden, would you prefer a flower garden or a vegetable garden?
I'm not sure which one, but I would say vegetable garden because well, there's a vegetable garden gives you a product which you can also use, or is it nutrition, so you can eat it and you can see it grow, and the process you can see it, while a flower garden is just well, grass or plants just there. So.
Okay. Why do you think so many people like gardening?
Maybe it connects them with the nature, and they find it relaxing or interesting hobby for them. I don't know, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'd like to move on to talk about pets. Do you have a pet?
Yes, I have a dog.
You have a dog, okay. Why do so many people like to have pets?
They're men's best friends, I guess. So they're great companions. That you can teach them, you can travel with them, and they will always stay your friend and always part of your family. So.
And how do people's lives change when they have a pet?
Well, the responsibility changes a lot. They have a responsibility of a new life. They have to take care of the pet, feed it, walk it, especially dogs. And of course, each pet has its own requirements. There are also special pets who maybe have illnesses, or other pets who are more active or something, which need more exercise.
Okay. What can people learn from animals?
Patience.
Yeah.
Patience, and well, people with temper can they can learn to calm it down, because sometimes pets, when they don't listen, you get frustrated, and then you really want to do something so the pet starts listening to you. Well, you can learn patience, so that the pet is like a child, it needs time to learn. So
Okay, right, I'd like now to ask some questions about marriage. What traditions are involved with marriage in your country?
In Russia, mostly, like many other countries, the man proposes. Mostly it's a traditional wedding in a church, mostly Orthodox, and there would always be a reception at the end with a lot of dancing, traditional foods. Yes.
Okay, do you think that people meeting on the internet can lead to a good marriage?
It depends what kind of person it is, or kind of people it is. If it's a correct match, why not? Of course. If it's just the beginning of a relationship. It's like meeting someone on the street and asking them to go for a coffee or something. Just start from the internet. It doesn't really matter.
What are your feelings about arranged marriages?
I'm absolutely against them. I think that a person should have his or her own choice of who he or she wants to spend their entire life with. So I think that it's not the parents' responsibility or choice, but it should be the person who wants to get married, who is in love with this person to get married, and not because they're supposed to.
Okay. And what are people's attitudes to divorce in your country?
Almost like any other. I mean, it's always either the man or the woman, or both. It just doesn't work in marriage. There's no real difference to other countries. Divorce, you go to, you get documents, you sign them, and that's pretty much it. So.
Okay. Right, now I'm going to give you a topic, and I'd like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. And before you talk, you'll have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say, and you can make some notes if you wish. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, so here is your topic, and take a minute to think about it. Okay. Now you've only got 1 to 2 minutes. Don't worry if I stop you.
Okay. No
Okay.
problem.
Off you go.
So the child I'm going to talk about is my brother. His name is Boris Sidokhin. He's 13 years old and 2 years younger than me. Is in the same school as I, in the 8th grade. Yes, he speaks the same languages as me: English, Russian, and German. Over the past year or two, he started to grow extremely. Now he's almost the same size, almost higher than me, which a little freaks me out because, well, he's always my small brother.
Mm-hmm.
That's always been the tiny one. He's extremely athletic. Plays soccer. It's his favorite sport. He's been playing soccer since he was 5. Every day after school, he has training with my father, who is enthusiastic about his passion.
Mm-hmm.
Because of his sports enthusiasm and soccer, he's extremely thin,
mm-hmm.
very bony. He's, as I said before, he's my size. He has blonde hair as me. He has blue eyes and looks a lot like my mom. Well, he's always been my kid brother, so I always loved him a lot. Of course, he gets annoying sometimes, as most small brothers do. For example, there was a story when he was 2, I was 4.
Mm-hmm.
We were walking down the street, and as every child, he gets tired of walking himself, so he starts crying, and then apparently he sits down on the pavement on the side of on the middle of the road, and as normal parents, he would my mom says, "Okay, you want to stay here? Please, we're gonna go. So she took my hand and she told me to walk forward while my brother just sat on the pavement in the
Mm-hmm.
back. I started to get scared that my mom would actually leave my brother there, so I would start crying myself and sit down on the pavement and wait until my mom would take
Okay,
him.
thank you. And do you think you'll continue to get on with him as you get older?
Hopefully, if he accepts me.
Okay. Right, I'd like to ask now some questions related to this topic. So to begin with, I'd like to talk about childhood. So what kind of things make up a happy childhood?
A happy childhood comes firstly from the parents. That's my opinion. So if the parents are enthusiastic and happy and about having a child and giving the child the best that they can, then there's no better childhood that you can think of.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what kind of things should parents do to be good role models for their children?
they must be responsible and responsible for their own sake.
Mm-hmm.
As parents that are not responsible would go drinking and would sometimes even hurt their children,
mm-hmm.
which I think is absolutely irresponsible and should be illegal everywhere. So parents should be responsible and take care of their children and only want the best for them.
Okay, what things have you learned from your childhood about bringing up a child?
It's extremely hard.
Yeah.
Yes, every child varies. So if a child is like their parents, then it's easier for them to confide in them and to relate to them, so they would know what to do. For example, however, there are different kinds of children, so you never know. You can't exactly say it.
Okay. And how has childhood changed since you were young?
Well, I am on the last brick of the century or the generation where technology hasn't taken out everything.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was younger, I still had wooden or dolls and toys like that, while the generation that is coming after me or right now will have only technology, computer screens, video games, mm-hmm. which is kind of scary.
Yeah. Okay, I'll move on now to talk about growing up. What are some of the challenges of growing up in your country nowadays?
Well, in Russia, especially in Moscow, it's a very large city. Mm-hmm. So, so it's so crowded or extremely crowded that the apartments aren't as big as they would be in other countries. Mm-hmm. I guess the environment is much different. It's more polluted. It's so many cars, so many people. It's dangerous. Yeah, so children need to grow up a little more to, go out alone than they would in other safer countries.
Okay. How do parents punish their children in your country, in Russia?
When there's punishment, it gets really loud.
Okay.
Especially with the mother and the daughter, from my own experience. Sometimes also physical punishment. Not terrible physical beating, but sometimes, slap on the butt on a small kid, or tugging of the ear.
Okay.
Something like that is appropriate.
Okay. How do you feel about corporal punishment of children?
From my opinion, it's horrible and should be banished from everywhere. Again, never, ever, ever. So I think that's not to... Yes, you have a temper, but you shouldn't take out on your children. If they annoy you, well, that's what children are there for, to annoy you. So
Okay.
you can't change it.
And finally, how do you think the challenge of growing up will change over the next 20 years?
Well, as I said before, technology will take over the world fully, and the children will become lazier, won't want to work, will have to stay with their parents, and won't accomplish as much as maybe the generations before us. So that's my worry.
Okay. Right, thank you very much. That's the end of the test.
Okay, let's have a listen to another full test. Here we go. This one apparently is number 10.
Hello, my name is Robbie. Can you tell me your full name, please?
My name is Asya Sidoshina.
I wasn't even going to try to type out that name. I don't know Russian. Sorry.
And can you tell me where you're from?
I am from Moscow in Russia.
Okay. And can I see your identification, please? Okay, thank you very much. Now, in this first part, I'd like to know a little bit about yourself. So to begin with, tell me a little about your garden, or a garden you know well.
This is a very weird first topic in part 1. Starting by talking about gardens, but alright.
Well, I live in an apartment, so I don't have a garden. However, I have a favorite park. It's my favorite park.
She handles this so beautifully. Because the question asks about a garden, she doesn't have a garden, but she doesn't just say, well, I don't have a garden, since she stops talking there. She says, I don't have a garden, but there is a park I like. Parks, gardens, they're very similar. So even though she can't really talk about gardens, she can talk about parks, so she does this. This is a great strategy.
I don't have a garden. However, I have a favorite park. It's my favorite park because my first school was located...
Passive voice. The first school was located...
at the edge of the park, and had a back door which would lead into the center of the park, which I loved very much.
And she's talking about the past, and she's using the past tense throughout.
So in break, recess...
maybe during break. During break...
For field trips, we would go to the park, and we would always have games and stuff like that. And these memories, I really like them. So
we would have games, maybe play. We would play games and stuff like that. What did she say about the memories?
and these memories, I really like them. So
Okay. And so if you had a garden, would you prefer a flower garden or a vegetable garden?
I'm not sure which one, but I would say vegetable garden because, there's a vegetable garden gives you a product.
I don't know why this is singular. Actually, what it gives you is produce. The stuff that comes from a farm is called produce. If you want to say product, products are countable. So it's got to be a vegetable garden gives you products.
You can also use, is it nutrition? So
Not sure what happened here. Why you is it? Don't know.
Nutrition, so you can eat it, and you can see it grow, and
okay, you can see it grow.
The process, you can see it while...
The process, you can see it. See, I don't know why she fronted the process. Why did she make process the process, you can see it? Why not you can see the process? The word order here is a bit weird. You can see the process.
Our garden is just, grass or plants just there. So.
Okay. Why do you think so many people like gardening?
Maybe it connects them with the nature.
Okay, for nature, there's no the. It connects them to nature, not with. It connects them with nature. Usually we would say to, and there's no the.
And they find it relaxing or interesting hobby for them.
They find it relaxing, or it's an interesting hobby for them. Or maybe it's an interesting hobby for them.
I don't know, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'd like to move on to talk about pets. Do you have a pet?
Yes.
No, wait a moment.
Yeah.
So I'd like to move.
Okay. Let's put in the so. So I'd like to move on and talk about pets.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'd like to move on to talk about pets. Do you have a pet?
Yes, I have a dog.
You have a dog. Okay.
Why on earth is this here? Get rid of that. You have a dog. I don't know why he repeats what she said.
You have a dog. Okay. Why do so many people like to have pets?
They're men's best friends.
It's a great expression. Dogs are man's best friend.
So they're great companions that you can teach them.
There's some good and some bad here. Great companions, good phrase that you can teach, good grammar, but then she puts a them there. No, because they are the great companions, companions that you can teach. Know them. They're great companions that you can teach.
You can travel with them and they will always stay your friend and always
stay your friend, yeah.
Always part of your family.
Stay your friend and always part of your family. Stay your friend and will always be a part of your family. Always be a part of your family.
Mm-hmm. And how do people's lives change when they have a pet?
Well, the responsibility changes a lot. They have a responsibility of a new life.
For a new life. They have responsibility for a new life.
They have to take care of the pet, feed it, walk it.
Notice the intonation here, the rising intonation, because she's listing. Feed it, walk it.
Especially dogs. And of course each pet has its own requirements. There are also special pets who maybe have illnesses,
mm-hmm.
or other pets who are more active or something which need more exercise.
I mean, it's pretty good. Here's another relative clause, which need more exercise. Not sure why it's which here, because here she said who. Other pets who are more active. And then she goes from who to something. But if you call them a who, you can't go to something. Or some who need more exercise. Or some who need more exercise. Let's see here. Okay, so here we have the noun going with have. And then we have an adjective, just more active. Have illnesses or are more active. Yeah, the grammar is not bad.
Okay. What can people learn from animals?
Patience.
Yeah.
Patience, and people with temper can
Tempers are accountable. People with a temper.
Temper, they can learn to calm it down, because
They can learn to calm down. There's no it. So people with bad tempers can learn to calm down.
sometimes pets, when they don't listen, you get frustrated, and then
Mm-hmm.
you really want to, do something so the pet starts listening to you. Well, you can learn patience, so that the pet is like a child.
This doesn't really make sense to me. You can learn patience, so that pet is like a child. So the pet will become like a child? What?
Patience, so that the pet is like a child. It needs time to.
Pet is like a child. So that the pet. Also, pet needs an article, because pets are countable. So that the pet is like a child, I guess.
Child, it needs time to learn So.
And notice that she ends her responses with so. It's kind of a weird way to end this phrase.
So.
Okay. Right, I'd like now to ask some questions about marriage. What traditions are involved?
Whoa, this is not and. Okay, let's try that again.
Questions about marriage. What traditions are involved with marriage in your country?
Let's throw in a comma also. There we go. What traditions are involved in marriage? That's here.
In Russia, mostly like many other countries.
I do like these phrases that she throws in, like many other countries, like in Russia, mostly, like many other countries. I think we're going to hear her do this again.
The man proposed.
Wait a second. Oh, wait. No, that's right.
The man proposes.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly it's a traditional wedding in a church, mostly Orthodox.
Yeah, here she did it again. This phrase here. Mostly it's a traditional wedding in a church, comma, mostly. I know when you're speaking there's no comma, but a little pause. Mostly Orthodox. This little pause just to add more information. I do like that.
Mostly Orthodox, and there would always be a reception at the end with a lot of dancing.
I don't know why she uses would here. This is not in the past, so there is always a reception.
Traditional foods. Yes.
Okay.
Again, kind of a weird way to end, but all right.
Okay. Do you think that people meeting on the internet can lead to a good marriage?
It depends what kind of person it is, or what kind of people it is.
Good point. There's a word missing here. So what kind of person it is, or what kind of people they are. They are. You can't say people it is. But overall, few mistakes.
It's a correct match. Why not, of course, if
it's a correct match. If it's a good match. There can't be a correct match. If it's a match, or if it's a good match.
It's just the beginning of a relationship. It's like meeting someone on the street and asking them.
Here we see some, look at her, here she's speaking kind of fast, but look how nicely everything is connected, and you can still understand perfectly what she's saying.
It's like meeting someone on the street and asking them.
Meeting someone on the street. It flows so nicely here, meeting someone on the street.
To go for a coffee or something, just start from the...
And here, go for coffee. I do like the phrase go for coffee.
Doesn't really matter.
No, wait, why is there a period there?
Something, just start from the internet.
Just start from the internet, yeah, I guess that should be capitalized. Whoa, what did I do now? I think what she should have said though is it. What am I doing? It just starts from the internet. It just starts from the internet. It doesn't really matter.
Start from the internet. Doesn't really matter.
What are your feelings about arranged marriages?
I'm absolutely against them.
I'm guessing she wanted to say against, but it sounded like gets.
I think that a person should have his or her own choice of who he or she wants to spend their entire life with.
That's a great point. Just one thing though. Okay, a person should have the choice. I don't know why she changed this to his or her, but anyway, a person should have their own choice of who he or she. Now she keeps on saying he or she. Why not just say they? Who they want to spend their entire life with. Instead of saying he or she, just say they.
He or she wants to spend their entire life with. So I think that it's not the parents' responsibility or choice, but it should be the person who wants to get married.
Why did you put the if there? The person who wants to get married, who's in love. Okay, yeah.
Who's in love with this person to get married and not because they're supposed to.
Wait, let me look at this again. Who wants to get married, who's in love with this person to get married. It's a little bit difficult to follow here. So it should be the person who wants to get married. It should be the person who wants to get married's decision, and they should do it because they want to, not because they're supposed to. I guess that's what she's trying to say. They should be able to do it because they want to, not because they have to.
Okay. And what are people's attitudes to divorce in your country?
Almost like any other. I mean, it's always either the man or the woman or both.
This doesn't really answer the question. What are people's attitudes? They're not asking what the cause of divorce is. They're saying, what are people's attitudes?
Any other. I mean, it's always either the man or the woman or both.
Yeah, this is not answering the question.
Just doesn't work in marriage. There's no real difference to other countries' divorce.
There's no real difference to other countries' divorce. This makes it sound like other countries are getting divorced, which of course is not what she's trying to say. So there's no real difference between divorce in Russia and divorce in other countries. Divorce in other countries.
You get documents, you sign them, and that's pretty much it.
So I still don't know what people's attitudes are. Do they care? They don't care? Or what?
Okay. Right, now I'm going to give you a topic and I'd like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. And before you talk, you'll have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say, and you can make some notes if you wish. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, so here is your topic.
But we don't know what the topic is. What is the topic? Why doesn't he say it?
Take a minute to think about it.
Nope.
Okay, now you've only got 1 to 2 minutes. Don't worry if I stop you.
Okay.
Okay, off you go.
Off you go. Ah, that's funny.
So the child I'm going to talk about is my brother. His name is Boris Sidokhin.
Again, I'm not even going to try to write these Russian last names.
He's 13 years old and 2 years younger than me.
13 years old, maybe no and. He's 13 years old, 2 years younger than me. She's 15. Man. That's amazing.
Same school as I.
See, now, I is an object. He's in the same school as me. That's this I.
In the 8th grade, yes. He speaks the same languages as me, English, Russian, and German. Over the past year or two, he started to grow extremely.
He started to grow extremely. Extremely what? Extremely fast, maybe? Well, okay, so if you're going to talk about how people suddenly become quite a bit taller, why not use the phrase growth spurt? So, what did you say? Over the past year. So over the past year, he went through a real growth spurt. That would be a much better phrase. Now, if you want to say grow extremely, then we need an adjective here. He started to grow extremely fast, something like that.
He started to grow extremely. Now he's almost the same size, almost higher than me.
Taller. He's almost the same size, almost taller than me.
Which a little freaks me out because...
Which freaks me out a little bit. Which a little freaks me out because, well, he's always my small brother. He's always been, because now he's not small anymore, so he's always been my small brother.
Mm-hmm.
That's always been the tiny one.
He's always been the tiny one.
He's extremely athletic.
Good adjective, athletic.
Plays soccer. It's his favorite sport. He's been playing soccer since he was 5.
Present perfect continuous tense. He's been playing soccer because she wants to emphasize how long it is. How old is he? 13. So it's been 8 years. That's a long time, right? So then we use the present perfect continuous tense.
Every day after school he has training.
Yes, training. Okay.
With my father, who is enthusiastic about his passion.
Who's enthusiastic about his passion. I don't know what that means. Who's enthusiastic about soccer? You could say that. Or who has a real passion for soccer. he's enthusiastic about soccer, or he has great passion for soccer.
Passion. Because of his sports enthusiasm and soccer, he's extremely thin,
Very easy to understand.
very bony.
That's an adjective you don't see a lot. Very bony, all right.
He's, as I said before, he's my size.
Yeah, but then why say it again? If you said it before and you're just going to repeat it, is there any point in that?
He has blonde hair as me.
He has blonde hair like I do. He has blonde hair just like I do.
He has blue eyes and looks a lot like my mom. Well, he's always been my kid brother, so I always loved him a lot.
Loved? So you don't love him anymore?
Of course, he gets annoying sometimes, as most small brothers do.
Great pronunciation here. It gets annoying sometimes. Not just the fall here. He gets annoying sometimes, as young brothers do.
Of course, he gets annoying sometimes, as most small brothers do.
And also here, the grammar is pretty good, as most small brothers do. He gets annoying, as most small brothers do.
There was a story when...
Maybe not the story. There was a time. There was a time when he
was 2, I was 4. We were walking down the street, and as every child, he gets tired.
Like every child, he got tired. Oh, she's telling a story now. But here I was going to say, she's not consistently using the past tense. But then I thought she's telling a story, so using the present tense is okay. But here, she used the past tense. Past tense, past tense, past tense. And then present tense. That's a problem.
Child, he gets tired of walking himself, so he starts crying, and then apparently he sits down.
I don't know why she uses apparently. I mean, she was there, so why use the word apparently?
The pavement on the side of, on the middle of the road.
In the middle of the road. On the side, in the middle.
And as normal parents, he would. My mom says.
Now this is confusing. She's talking about my normal parents, he, my mom. To get a 7 for fluency and coherence, you can't lose coherence. This, to me, does not make sense. Who is she talking about?
Okay, you want to stay here, please? We're gonna go. We're gonna go. So she took
she.
my hand, and she.
And now she's back to the past tense again. She said took
my hand, and she told me to walk forward while my brother just sat on the pavement in the back.
Well, my brother just remained sitting on the pavement. There's not back. He just remained sitting on the pavement. See, now, if you're going to tell a story, you can use the present tense. That's fine. But stick to the present tense. Here now, she's back to using the past tense.
I started to get scared that my mom would actually leave my brother there, so I would start crying myself and sit down in the...
I would. If we use would to talk about the past, then we're talking about habits. This is something that only happened one time, so I started crying. There's no would.
And wait until my mom...
Okay.
And then she switches up the tenses in the same sentence. Did she say sit here also?
Sit down on the pavement.
How are you going to get a 7 for grammar? Because to get a 7 for grammar, error-free sentences must be frequent. If you keep on getting the tenses wrong, it's hard to do.
Thank you. And do you think you'll continue to get on with him as you get older?
Hopefully, if he accepts me.
Okay.
Not accept. Good grief. Let me try that again. Accepts. There we go. If he accepts me. I'm not sure what she means by that. Like if he... Not sure. But I don't know their relationship. Let's move on.
Okay. Right. I'd like to ask now some questions related to this topic. So to begin with, I'd like to talk about childhood. So what kind of things make up a happy childhood?
A happy childhood comes firstly from the parents.
The firstly is good. The at, no. There's no at. A happy childhood comes firstly from the parents?
That's my opinion. So if the parents are enthusiastic and happy and about having a child and giving the child the best that they can,
Giving the child the best they can? The child?
then there's no better childhood that you can think of.
I do like this phrase. No better noun. No, wait a second. Did she say than? Or did she say that?
Childhood that you can think of.
Oh, I'm not sure. I need to hear this again.
You can think of.
I still don't know.
Childhood that you can think of.
Yeah, that you can think of. Yeah, there's no better childhood that you can think of. I thought for a second you said then. Yeah, this is good. No better noun that you can think of. Great phrase.
Mm-hmm.
So,
What kind of things should
Again, she ends with so. Interesting.
so
what kind of things should parents do to be good role models for their children?
there's
Okay, role models.
they must be responsible and responsible
They must be responsible and responsible.
for their own sake.
Responsible for their own sake. I understand that.
As parents that are not responsible,
Who are not responsible. As parents who are not responsible.
would go drinking and would.
She uses would to talk about the past tense quite a lot. Sometimes she gets it right, sometimes she does not. Here she does get it right, because here she's talking about a habit. These people would go drinking habitually.
Sometimes even hurt their children,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is absolutely irresponsible.
Okay, relative clause, which I think is absolutely irresponsible. Nice adverb and adjective, absolutely irresponsible.
Illegal everywhere.
Now, wait a second, what is going on here? Oh, is irresponsible, so we don't need another be verb, because here's is adjective, and here's also an adjective, which is absolutely, and be legal. So why is there a be here? What?
It should be illegal everywhere.
Oh, she said should.
It should be illegal.
I didn't put the should there, and should be illegal everywhere. Okay, well, I think it is illegal everywhere. But anyway, let's look at the grammar. The grammar's fine. This adjective has a be verb. This adjective has a be verb, so everything is good.
Illegal everywhere. So parents should be responsible and
How many times is she going to say they need to be responsible? Responsible, responsible, responsible.
parents should be responsible and take care of their children and only want the best for them.
Okay, what things have you learned?
And only want the best for them. That's also a good phrase. And only want the best for them. I like that. Okay.
What things have you learned from your childhood about bringing up a child?
It's extremely hard.
Yeah.
Yes, every child varies. So if
Every child varies. Every child is different. Every child is different.
a child is like their parents, then it's easier for them to confide in them and to relate to them.
Confide. Oh my goodness. Confide in them. Confide in them.
It's easier for them to confide in them and
But man, when she speaks, it sounds like confined, doesn't it?
easier for them to confide in them.
I'll leave it like this. Confide. Yeah. If you tell people your secrets, you confide in them.
And to relate to them.
These are some pretty good verbs. Confide. Relate to them. Yeah. Confide in their parents. Relate to their parents. She uses the right verbs and she uses the right articles also. In, to.
So they would know what to do, for example.
She loves the word would.
However, there are different kind of children, so you never know. You can't exactly say it.
I don't know what this word is. You never something, so you can't exactly tell. Not say it, it's tell, and there's no it. So you can't exactly tell. So children are all very different, so it's very difficult to tell, not say it.
Okay. And how has childhood changed since you were young?
Well, I am on the last brick of...
I don't know what she's saying here. Maybe she's saying brink, but I hear brick. Even if it's brink, I'm not sure what she's saying.
Of the century where, or...
Don't know. I don't know. This part about the century I can't make out.
Generation where technology hasn't taken out everything.
Technology hasn't taken out everything. I don't know what that means either. Does she mean replace? Where technology hasn't replaced everything? Now she's going to give us an example. So I think this is replaced, not taken out.
Mm-hmm. So when I was younger, I still had wooden...
Past tense.
Or dolls. And
nice adjective. Wooden dolls.
Like that. While the generation that is coming after me, or right now, will have only...
Maybe she said right now. I don't know.
Technology, computer screens, video games, which is kind of scary.
Now, if I were him, I would ask her, why is that scary? I don't know. I don't know why he doesn't ask any follow-up questions.
Okay, move on now to talk about growing up. What are some of the challenges of growing up in your country nowadays?
Well, in Russia, especially in Moscow, it's a very large city.
In Russia, it's a very large city. Russia is a country, Moscow is a city, and then you say it's a very large city. But then why do you say in Russia? We say Moscow is a very large city, no Russia.
Mm-hmm. So, well, the apartments, so it's so crowded, or extremely crowded, that the apartments aren't as big as they would be in other countries.
Again, why would be? As they are. They're not as big as they are in other countries.
Mm-hmm. I guess the environment is much different. It's more polluted. It's so many cars.
Well, here I understand. It's more polluted. It means the environment. The environment is more polluted. But here, it's so many cars. What is the it here? There are so many more cars. Or there are so many cars. There are so many cars, so many people.
It's so many cars, so many people. It's
But again, notice the pronunciation. There's so many cars, so many people. That's really good.
There are so many people. It's dangerous.
But then so. Good and bad, good and bad.
Yeah, so children need to grow up a little more to, go out alone than they would in other safer countries.
I think what she's saying is children need to be a little bit more grown up before they can go out compared to the situation in safer countries. They need to grow up a little more. I think here, just throw in a before they can go out alone. Than they would in other countries. Okay, the safer countries. Okay, just before.
Okay. How do parents punish their children in your country, in Russia?
When there's punishment, it gets really loud.
Okay.
Especially with the mother and the daughter, from my own experience.
Starting to speak a little slowly here.
Sometimes also...
There's no of.
Sometimes also...
Yeah, there's no of. Let's get rid of that. Okay, sometimes also let's put a comma there. What the hell? Okay.
Physical punishment.
See, now there's a lot of hesitation here before she says physical punishment. Now, I don't know. See, because here she says not terrible physical punishment. So I don't know if this for her is a sensitive topic to talk about, or if she had trouble remembering the word. I don't think she had trouble remembering the word. Maybe she doesn't want to create a false impression of what is going on in Russia. Maybe she doesn't want the examiner to be under the wrong impressions. That's why she was a little bit hesitant in bringing up the topic.
Punishment, not terrible physical beating.
Notice the stress on not. I mean not.
Punishment, not terrible physical beating, but sometimes, slap on the butt on a small kid or tugging of the ear.
Tugging of the ear. I do like that she said the ear.
Okay.
Something like that is appropriate.
Oh.
And notice how she speaks so softly at the end is appropriate. So, yeah, maybe she doesn't feel very confident in talking about this topic.
Appropriate.
Okay. How do you feel about corporal?
And no follow-up questions. Or maybe this is a follow-up question. I'm not sure. Is this a follow-up question?
From my opinion, it's horrible and should be banished from everywhere.
But you just said it's appropriate when they slap little kids on the butt. Interesting.
From my opinion, it's horrible and should be banished from everywhere.
You can't be banned from everywhere. It should be banned everywhere. There's no from. Oh, not banished, just banned. Good grief. Banned.
From my opinion, it's horrible and should be banished from everywhere.
Should be banned everywhere.
Again, never, ever, ever.
Oof, I don't know what you said here. Again, against, never, ever, ever. I don't know what this is about. Did this happen before? Why never, ever? What?
So I think that's not to... Yes, you have a temper, but you shouldn't take it out on your children. If they annoy you, well, that's what children are there for.
That's what children are there for. Again, very good pronunciation. That's what children are there for.
You, so
Okay.
you can't change it.
And finally, how do you think
I can't believe this woman is 15 years old. What?
the challenge of growing up will change over the next 20 years?
Well, as I said before, technology will take over the world fully.
I don't know if she said and here. It sounded like and. Technology will take over the world fully. That's take over the world, pause, fully. Okay.
And the children will become lazier.
Why there's no the. Children will become lazier. I would have gone with a rising intonation. Won't want to work, rising intonation. Does she use a rising intonation?
Won't want to work. Will
Nope, she does not.
to stay with their parents and won't accomplish as much as maybe the generations before us.
That's a great phrase. Look at this here. Accomplish as much as the generations before us. If only she didn't say maybe. Accomplish as much as the generations before us.
For us. So that's my worry.
Okay. Right, thank you very much. That's the end of the test.
It's a bit short. 11 minutes, 40 seconds. I don't know, kind of under length. I think if he asked her more questions, we would have had more material to work with, but he didn't. Score-wise, they said this is a 7. Possibly, I'd be happier giving her a 6.5 because I don't think error-free sentences were frequent. And there were times when she was incoherent. So how can you get a 7 for coherence? You just can't. Sorry. So pronunciation and vocabulary, I'd say 7. Grammar, fluency, and coherence, I'd say 6.